Hi! In this video you're going to learn how to model the buttons. Just like the camera and battery cutout, this video will also focus on dividing the mesh into distinct different regions to model the details you want.
Okay, so welcome again inside of Blender. I pulled my references here just so that we can have a better idea on what we will be creating. All in all, we'll need to create 5 different buttons. We have, I think this is the action button, the volume buttons, the power button, and the camera controller. I think this one right here is the SIM card slot, but I think for the ones that are being sold in the US, they don't have this slot. And that's why we'll skip this part and we will only limit the scope of this video to the different buttons that actually exist. And now we can start modeling. But before I do that, something very important I want to mention. If I select this iPhone body and hit tab, let me also hit Alt H to unhide the rest of the geometry because we hit it earlier if you remember. What you will notice is that this whole iPhone body is still very low poly. We have a very limited number of vertices and quads. But if I pull my references here, as you will see, the iPhone is very smooth and these buttons are very smooth. So how can we go about this, about creating a very smooth shapes? Meanwhile, our geometry is very low poly. That will be by using a subdivision surface modifier. And that's why I will jump to the modifiers tab, add modifier. You can look for subdivision surface and let's add this modifier. Let's increase the level viewport to 2, hit tab to exit the edit mode, and it will look like this. This will definitely look horrible right now because when you're using the subdivision surface modifier, you will naturally need to add supporting edge loops so that everything will look smooth, but also the things that needs to be sharp, it should look sharp. Later in the course, we will have a dedicated video for adjusting and sharpening all the different angles of this model. But for now, I just want to apply this subdivision surface modifier so that we at least can start to see a very smooth shape and we can adjust the shape of the buttons based on the subdivision surface modifier. Let me just flip my phone and I'm going to hit 1 to jump to the front projection view. From here, we will have the power button and from here, we will have the action button and the volume button. I will start with the left side. Let's hit tab to jump again to the edit mode. I'm going to hit Ctrl R to add some loops and scroll the mouse wheel to only add 2 loops and let's put them in here. And if I hit S, Y to scale them on the Y axis, nothing will happen because I need to change this from individual origin to medium point. And now if I hit SY, I will be able to push both of those 2 loop cuts away from each other. And that's exactly what I want. Let's say something like so will do the job. Let's switch to the face selection mode. And now I need to select the faces where the different buttons will sit. To do that, let's hit 1 to jump again to the front projection. So the first button will be around here. I'm intentionally making the selection slightly bigger because later I'm going to do some inset operation and that will make the whole button smaller. So it is better to go slightly bigger because we will go smaller later. Hit I for inset and let's say something like so. And for the value, I'm going to make it 0.0005. Let's also copy this value because we will apply it for the rest of the faces. For the next button, it should be these 3. Let's do the same exact thing. Do inset. Let's paste the value here, Ctrl V, and we are good to go. And the last button will be this one. Do I for inset and let's paste the value here. And we are good to go. Next, let's select these faces just like the following. I'm going to extrude them inside by doing E for extrude and extrude it inside. Since we have the subdivision modifier on, this will cause everything to look very smooth. So I'm just going to disable it for a second in the viewport so that we can see the low poly version of this model. Next, I'm going to inset again. Let's do I for inset. This time the value should be way smaller and we need to extrude them to the outside. So hit E for extrude and extrude them to the outside. Let's enable the subdivision modifier again and you will have something looking like so. Don't worry about them looking very smooth and blobby because we will fix that later. Next thing, for the other side of the phone, we will have the power button and the camera controller button. So let's create those right now. Let's go on this side and actually I will do the same exact thing by hitting 1 to jump to the front projection view and the buttons will sit around here from this face to this face. So I'm going to spin, let's say these 4 faces. I hope I did the selection the right way. No, I need to shift it. So deselect this one and select this one. I will need to also make the selection for the camera controller. Sadly, if I hit 1, the camera controller is not that visible from here, but I will need to adjust it accordingly based on this view. So it will sit around here. So let's select this face 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit I for inset, paste the same value, but we will have a different value of extrusion for this one since this one is an actual button. Meanwhile, for the camera controller, it is just a small extrusion in the inside of the phone. Let's start first with the power button. Select all of these faces. E for extrude to the inside. Let's hide the references and disable the subdivision modifier. JX to push it slightly inward even more. I for inset. Hit 1 again. E for extrude until it sits around here. This will be good. For the camera controller, all you need to do is to extrude it to the inside. So E for extrude, and let's push it slightly inward. This will do the job. And let's enable the subdivision modifier again. And yeah, this is looking very neat. This is it, everyone, for how to model the different buttons of the iPhone. And I will see you in the next one. And as usual, make sure to save your file.